We do. Good things will follow both for our economy and the stronger and the fairer side. About 6 months ago, I see Brett Johnson's here. It wasn't Brett, but somebody in the press wrote that we had made 52 promises on the campaign trail, and we had achieved 47 of them. That's another good batting average, right? But there are a couple on there that, I'm not happy unless we bat 1,000 on that one as well. And there are a few on there that I'm really frustrated by. One of them is, please, you don't even have to ask me, I promise you, I want to end the bear hunt as much, if not more than you do. I promise you. We will do that. It's just really a lot harder than I thought it was. Sometimes we're on the outside looking in. You think you can do something. When you get in there, it's hard. Legislation, by the way, would end it. That's the one permanent fix. So that's something I hope we can get to at some point. Another one, the public bank. You may have heard me talk about the public bank, which is a really good idea, particularly for student loans. Another idea that is a lot harder to get done once we're on the inside than I thought. We're playing with things on both of those topics and both of those fronts that I hope will lead to something. But there's another promise that is emblematic of something I want to, I'm almost done here. I want to make sure you're thinking about this, or you see at least how we're thinking about it. And one of them was tax fairness, the millionaire's tax in particular. And we got a partial success last year, but we don't have the full success that we need. And but let me say this, I got nothing against millionaires. In fact, I want more of them. I don't begrudge anyone who's participated in their own way in the American dream. God bless them. That's America. All I'm asking is that we get a little bit of fairness. Help us level the playing field out. I can't justify an all-in historic investment in the middle class, which was somewhere between neglected and ravaged under the last administration, whether it's public. By the way, I grew up in a working poor family, looking up, hoping one day we all did, that we would get into the middle class. So let's not forget those dreams either, right? So I can't justify making all the investments we're making and then make the same people pay for it. That doesn't work for me. That's negating a lot of the investment we're making. And so it leads me to the following just observation for you. We talk a lot about big structural deficits in this state, and we should. And we need to do things. We need to do things about them. Pension, health care, property taxes, outstanding indebtedness. You can't overstate the mess that has been building for a long time, particularly in the last administration. So we're chopping away at all of these things. But there's another kind of deficit over here, which is we've got a revenue deficit. And I'll give you the millionaire's tax is a good example. It's not just $500 million a year that we don't have this year, that we could have and we need. It was canceled in 2010. Multiply that by 9. That's $4.5 billion. Hello, Angela. Take my seat. I'm not going back down. Come on down. Sorry. How are you? Excuse us. It's not just $500 million, it's $4.5 billion we don't have that we could have and should have. The sales tax gimmick, when it was cut 3 Decembers ago, that's not just $675 million a year, that's $2 billion. Those two taxes alone, those two pieces of tax fairness is $6.5 billion. And with this president and a jittery economy and a global jitter, hey Charles, in things like trade and tariffs. Those are revenues that we're going to need to pay for the things in a tough economy like expanding pre-K and other programs like that. And that's in addition to some other steps which we'd love to see taken. Have the opioid distributors and manufacturers pay a per pill charge to help us pay for our opioid programs, which continues to be a crisis in the state. Big companies that don't provide health care for their employees, and therefore the employee has no place to go other than on Medicaid. You know what? The feds and we are paying for that. Mr. or Ms. Company, we're going to ask you to help us pay for that and have a per head charge to help us defray the costs. Or, I got nothing against the Second Amendment, but the gun license fee in the state was last raised. You know when it was last raised? 1966. I was 9. Baltimore Orioles, I believe, won the World Series.
I was 26 years old.
So let's focus on property taxes, pension, health care, outstanding indebtedness. We should and we are. But let's also not neglect the revenue deficits that we need, and we will need even more if we have a choppier economy. I'll leave you with a couple of quickies.